Come on.
You've been in this position where you get hit with all sorts of stuff and it all comes and, you know, like number 9 buses 3 at once. When you look at these 3 scandals in totality, are they real scandals or are they run-of-the-mill issues that any White House has to deal with?
Well, 1 is bad, 2 is 4, and 3 is 10. The pressure is enormous in the White House when this happens. It's the perfect storm. And we all have watched enough of our history to know that big and bad things can start from very small things. And the old rule is that there are 2 rules in Washington. The first rule is the cover-up's worse than the event, and the second rule is no one remembers the first rule.
Well, let's start with cover-up, because I want to come to the IRS, which I think is arguably, as my 2 fellow correspondents said earlier, the most important at the moment to Americans anyway. But Benghazi, the Republicans continue to say, was about a cover-up. It was about a deliberate attempt by the administration to avoid the American public hearing the truth. Do you believe that, given all the emails that have come out today?
I think the way to think of it is that as I think Mark Twain said, trust leaves on horseback and returns on foot. Once the United States, a president leads through persuasion, not command. He has to be trusted to be persuasive. And the incremental loss of trust. I came into the White House after the Nixon resignation as Chief of Staff for President Ford. And it was, the reservoir of trust had been drained. And that's your leverage. That's how you lead. And what's happening here is incrementally, little by little, the press spokesman, the president, other people in the administration saying things are contradictory. And they're confusing people. And then there's the second problem, and then there's the third problem. And I quite agree with you. I think the IRS thing is something the American people worry about deeply. The idea that government, with all its money and all their tax dollars and all those people turning against the American people, is really something that's so fundamentally against what we believe in, that is, at the moment, the one that will have the greatest impact.